I got to make all kinds of notes to myself here. Okay, let's get this up. It was bothering me, wasn't it? Keep this up. No, I don't need to be recording. Why is it recording? Pause. Okay, now we're going.
All right, so much, Joyce. I know some of you from other ABG groups, and I think Patrick and let's see, is it Lois? The chat thing is in the way. I can't see your name. You two could probably do this with your eyes shut. So just bear with me. I want to share some things that I am actually learning. And as I was sharing those with Joyce, she said, oh, would you come teach our meetup group? So some of the things I'm going to say, I'm sure you are all very well and you already know. At least, even though I've been doing what I've been doing for a long time, I've been learning some new things, which hopefully I can pass on to you. And maybe you can use a tidbit here and there, right? I guess training is all about if you've got one takeaway kind of thing. So I first wanted to start talking about our brands. And I know it sounds like a lot of you are 100% clear on your brands. There may be, and I thought I was too. And I've just, like I said, learned a few things. So I'll share some information on just branding and then what Facebook pages and groups and the differences that they are, and then how we can really use Facebook Lives and turn that into a video that you can then upload everywhere, whether it's another Facebook page or Instagram or YouTube. So I always make videos and or do Facebook Lives with the thought of I can use them in multiple places. And so just be thinking about that as we're talking as well here today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that I can bring up some tools that, you know, I'll use to talk about. And I find it's probably it's a little bit more simple if you can read along with. So let's see if I can get this in a place where I can read along with you as well. So branding, and I think it's Lois who's like the branding and marketing, and some of you do this as well, but branding is differentiation. I used to think of it as, well, what other companies am I like? And then I really got clear on branding. The way that we want to brand ourselves is really different. And when we're starting out, we want to get super, super narrow. That's the best time to get extremely, extremely narrow. So it's distinguishing ourselves. And I want to use an example. First, I'll use something that I'm not, and then I'll use something that I am to talk and maybe drill down a little bit deeper in differentiation. But I was just sitting with the branding coach. We were in a little mastermind with another realtor, and he said, you know, there's a lot of realtors out there, and one realtor that he has been working with, he calls himself, I'm going to call him a different name, but the front name will be the same, and that's Light Rail Larry. So he was going around to all the light rails around town and having his photo taken at that light rail station, and then he would provide content about neighborhoods around just the light rail station. So he became known as that guy. Hey, if I want to live by and or near a light rail, I'm going to go to Light Rail Larry. There was another realtor who was sitting, in her previous 10 years prior to being a realtor she was a police officer. And in my mind, so I think about kiddos and young kids and me being safe. And I said, okay, like I know a lot of realtors out there, but now I only know one. So she was trying to determine whether she should brand herself as that safety expert. And I'm like, why not? Like, that's perfect. That is a perfect idea in terms of branding down to a niche. And you know, you think, well, then I may not serve this community, and that's really okay. We just need to know what community that we're going to serve. And that's going to be a common thread here inside of my talk here today. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. And branding, sometimes it takes a while as we're in our businesses. Like I said, a lot of you are clear about what you do, like crystal clear. Joyce, she knows her person, who she's serving, and so do a lot of you. But I work with, another thing that I do is I work with Melaleuca.com. I market their brand. And when I initially start talking to people, and it can kind of sound like the wah, is they're a manufacturer that makes everyday consumables, but without harsh chemicals. And so again, that's flat, like that lands flat on your end. You're not really hearing anything. And then drilling down a little bit more, niching it a little bit more is I feel like I get to shop at Whole Foods, but on a Walmart budget. Now, there's a couple of people who might think, oh, that sounds interesting. We think of Whole Foods, whole paycheck. But if we know we could shop that well, somewhere else, I might need to take a look at that. And then I drill down just a little bit more and say, when I started shopping at Melaleuca, I had been diagnosed with lupus and Graves' disease. And within 3 weeks of using their brand, my symptoms were gone and I was super sick. And within 9 months, my blood tests reversed. So I got a letter back from my doctor saying, hey, don't come back. Your blood levels are perfect. Well, I was excited back then. This was 8-9 years ago when I was sick and got well. So I told everybody I knew, shopping online, finding a great manufacturer. But really, when I niche it down is I really want to talk to people with health issues, whether it's autoimmune, and there's lots of stuff in there from Hashimoto's to rheumatoid arthritis to asthma, allergies, all that can fit into I can help you kind of thing. So we niche it down as low as we possibly can. And there's still a little uncomfortableness thinking, am I going to miss some people that I could serve? But I have to be clear about who I am serving. So that's the first thing, is really differentiating. And then we get to identifying our perfect customer. And this is important because if we identify our perfect customer, then we know what kind of content that we're going to put out there. So I was recently in a training that was phenomenal. I mean, this gal was saying, like, you need to research your perfect, first identify who that is, and then research who that is, like seriously, where they shop, what kind of car they drive, how many kids they have, where are they living, like drilling down so low, that one perfect person that you would serve. And then again, every time you create content, that person, that tribe of people that you're gathering to yourself will feel like you're speaking to them personally. And there's just something that happens in their spirit. There's drawn to you. So we can't worry about the outliers. Yeah, we're going to serve some other people along the way, but it's just important to get super clear about our brand. And some of that comes with who exactly am I serving? And I'll share with you some of my Facebook pages and things like that here in a little bit. Facebook itself, why Facebook? Well, 2.74 billion people are on Facebook every single month. So I know, I'm not going to even get into all the politics, but some people are flipping to a different social media format. But the reality is a ton of people, over 50% of the people on social media are still on Facebook, will be on Facebook. So I think it's a super important venue to be on. Facebook pages versus groups. And I'm just going to be really transparent and say, I had to research this. What is the difference? And a Facebook page is something that it's set up, super easy to set up in Facebook, but this is a page that's going to give you credibility. It really is almost, it's very similar in the way that it operates to your own profile page, in that you are providing the content. So if you want to increase your brand awareness, you want to show up as an authority on your brand. And again, I just can't say enough to narrow that down to just a specific, as narrow a person that you're going to serve as you possibly can. If you're a public figure, author, whatever, these are great reasons to set up a Facebook page. And people can comment, but they're not necessarily going to be posting on that page of yours. That would be something different. Now, one of the things that you want to keep in mind is you want people to like that page, not just follow it, but like it. So don't be afraid. Like, I have a lot of people who will follow my pages. And sometimes, if it's late at night and I'm tired, I might get a little insecure and not take that extra step to invite them to like it, not just follow it. Because if they like it, it's going to show up on their Facebook feed, provided the algorithms are there and all of that. But it will show up on their feed. If they just follow it, then they're just going to see some updates from you. So the algorithms on Facebook are such that when you do videos and Facebook Lives, that will drive your page to the top of this algorithm. And I don't understand all of it. I just know that it works. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. Again, Facebook pages are appropriate when you have your own content, when you're making the posts, you want to increase brand awareness and show up as an authority on that topic. So I'm going to show you one of my Facebook pages. Let's see. Mine's called Life After Lupus, and so I've got a live Facebook page, so I might get messages and things like that. But let's see. So we're in sort of my back office, but my Life After Lupus page. I wrote a book called Life After Lupus, Sharing My Journey, and that was again sort of niching down my group. I wanted to share the journey from sickness to health with people and open up the possibility of healing. And then how do I get that message out? How do I get this message out? So I started a Facebook page, and I primarily, well, almost exclusively utilize Facebook Live and videos to drive attention, to this page. And then I can share it on my regular Facebook page. So I'm on my own profile. So I'm using it in definitely two ways. And then I also upload those same videos and Facebook Lives to Instagram. And then I also upload those to YouTube. So it can be, but I start here. And so this morning I did a little Facebook Live, and my thing, and you have to do your thing, but my thing is I go to the dog park every single day. And last year I took on this challenge of running, walking, biking, 20 miles in the year 2020. So I started videoing every day about this is what I'm up to today. This is, where I'm at. And I actually ended up with over 3,333 miles for the year. But I do my little videos at the dog park every morning when I go. So around 7 a.m., they'll pop in when people are sort of thumbing through Facebook. I guess knowing when to post is a thing as well. Somewhere around 7-ish, 8-ish is a really great time. 5 is another great time. So I did a Facebook Live, and 60 people reached so far. I shared it to my page. And then on my profile, I guess I should, some of them turned into really just motivational videos as well. This was what I did yesterday, living in a space of freedom. 77 people reached, and I've always got Cooper. So it's always great. If you have a pet, people will stop and watch a pet video. They truly will before they're going to stop and watch something else. And so it's me and Cooper at the dog park, and it's just kind of been a thing for us. But that's just a little side tip in terms of use your pets in your posts and or on separate posts. So people are looking at your content and they're stopping there and commenting and that kind of thing. So going back to our little talk here, that's my Facebook page. Now in terms of groups are different. Groups is when you want community involvement. I mean, you've all seen the local buy-sell groups, moms groups, empty nester groups, all special interest groups, whatever. This is where people in the group are also going to bring in content. You're not the only one posting. And the magic number is somewhere around 500 when you get 500 people. And they really start providing a portion of the content. I know my niece runs a mom's page in Aurora. She hasn't been on there and posted in a year. Everyone else is putting their 2 cents in and loving being part of that community. I've heard that here with Joyce. You've created a great community here with the people. We love what you do here, the training that you provide and the relationships. So that's great. So if you're interested in developing a group that is also going to contribute to your cause, then a group is the way to go instead of a page. Here's the thing. You can do both. You can start off with a page and grow that page, and then you can develop a Facebook group inside of that, separately. And I'll show you a great example of a gal who has done that, who's a professional at growing Facebook communities. I'll show you that here at the end. The group that I have, one group that I have online is called Mrs. Clean. So with Melaleuca, they have a cleaning line. They also have sports nutrition. They also have cosmetics and personal care. They have lots of different things, supplementation, all kinds of stuff. So this happened by accident. My Mrs. Clean and my Mrs. Clean group. I have a local Facebook group here, and I'm sharing some of my own experiences because inside of my own, you may think of something that you can do in your world as well. But in my area, there's a group, a Facebook group that's really for just this area, and it's branched out now, and there's like 10,000 people in this group. And a few years ago, I thought, what can I do inside of this group to grow my business? And I thought, in my particular area, we have super hard water. Like they can't even test it. It's so hard. It ruins appliances. It ruins countertops and shower doors and all kinds of different, it's just so bad. So Melaleuca has a product, a bathroom cleaner that just kills it in terms of hard water. It will eat it up, and showers that were all milky white end up sparkling clean, like you can see through the glass. So I thought, I'll go out, I'll clean shower doors for people. I will I'm here we have such hard water in our area, would love to come clean your shower. So I did that for a summer, and I did bring in some business into my business. I set that down for a while, but while I was doing it, I had a gal. And so I had the before and the after kind of thing. Brought it back a year later, and people, oh, by the way, I may freeze up here and there. My internet, I've literally gone and gotten the best internet, paying for got the new box, all of it. But there's a lot of people in my home who are using the internet, and so I may phase in and out. Hopefully you can make it out in terms of what I'm saying. So a year later, I brought back that campaign, and people were like, I've given out like 700 bottles of the bathroom cleaner, because people were like, we don't need you to come out anymore. Just, can I get a sample? I'm like, sure, yeah, that'd be great. So I dropped off samples to all these people's homes, and I continue to do that. I've given out probably 100 this year already, but people have come to know me as Mrs. Clean. So I thought, okay, a couple years ago, I started making cleaning videos, like lots of them. Here's how you clean this and that. And people were really engaged, and now they recognize me at the grocery store. Are you Mrs. Clean? I'm thinking, yeah, I'm her, I'm she. So this is how brands sort of, kind of do develop on their own. And so sometimes we don't have to be 100% clear. We just have to try stuff, throw the spaghetti at the wall and see if it sticks. But in my group, some of the people are providing the content. I wanted to just, like, the third post down was someone else she was posting pictures of things that she had taken. Now, of course, my internet isn't going to pull it up, right? But people comment, and they actually do their own cleaning stuff, and they share it with other people in the group. Of course, now, for whatever reason, my internet is not bringing that up. So just wanted to give you some ideas what a group would do. And they're the ones, like I said, providing the engagement. And it's surprising what will happen when you just start putting stuff out there, because we think we have to come up with all the ideas, but people are so resourceful, and people will be just love to be a part of that. So how to grow engagement. We put a page out, we put a group out, and we want our friends in. Certainly, inviting our friends to like our pages and be in our groups is fantastic. Hosting Facebook Live is huge. Growing engagement and posting videos. I'll talk a little bit more about Facebook Lives here in a few minutes, and then developing a social media calendar so that every day of the month, you know what you're posting. And I haven't followed this completely, but I wanted to share, because it's just a new thing. Like I said, I'm learning new things. So right now on my personal profile, I post a lot of things that I post because they're things that I've written. But technically, I should be using a full calendar and posting things. You see people posting about their kids all the time. My kids are grown, can't do that. Post about my dog. That's really great, but you can only post so many dog pictures. So it's important to have a social media calendar. And that's one of the PDF files, and something that we'll look at here in a minute. So why Facebook Lives? I know it's scary thinking, oh, I have to go on and talk and I can't do a redo, because that's the way I feel too. Like I'm the video gal. I can do videos all day long, put me on a live and I might stumble a little bit. So I went into this group, which I'm going to share with you here in just a minute, that is a group about growing groups, and they are fantastic. And it is that community. It's the group where other people are putting content or asking questions. And so I posed the question a couple of days ago, why do you folks, and these are all really like not famous, but I mean, they're people who are killing it in the social media industry. So I said, give me your top 5 reasons that you use Facebook Lives. So I wanted to share their answers with you. Facebook will advertise for you. That's probably one of the most important reasons why to do a Facebook Live. If I even schedule a Facebook Live, Facebook is going to notify everyone who has liked my page that I have scheduled a Facebook Live. And we'll schedule a Facebook Live while we're on this training here. And so they will push your brand. They'll tell your listeners, watchers that you are live, and then they can go back and watch the replay. Growing a Facebook audience, and that is your Facebook page or a community, which is the group, depending on which one you want to grow. That's what Facebook Live will do for you. It provides value. So I don't know about you, but texting to me, I would rather just pick up the phone and call. Like I text, but it's just one more thing where I've got to sit and push all the buttons and yada, yada, yada. When you want to give value, even if it's like my Facebook Lives in my Life After Lupus, 5 days out of the week are a minute or less. And the reason is because I want to use those for Instagram. And Instagram has been typically a minute or less. So when I started doing this about a year ago, I soon learned I had to trim off a lot of the fat and just get to it and provide a message in a minute or less. Yes, now you can upload to Instagram with a minute and a half, 2 minutes and beyond, but are people going to really watch that? So I got that cue, and most of my videos or Facebook Lives are a minute or less. Once a week, I do a Sunday night story time with my book and I read a chapter, and that Facebook Live is longer, but it's got purpose behind it. It's got intent behind it. Provides value. So without you having to type everything out, you can just say it. You develop a more personal connection with your community. They want to see who you are. There's something about posting words and phrases and people are like, oh, that's sweet. But when they see who you are, that makes a difference for them in terms of them. I want to see that again. I need part of what, because everybody's going to, I mean, they say even an author has their voice speaks to 10,000 people. So I'm still looking for that 10,000 tribe, right? But there are certain people who are going to connect to you just because of who you are. They just are. We have 4 personality types out there in the world, and the one that's going to match up with yours, and they are going to feel so fed by you. Those are the people that you want in your group. And they find out who you are by being live on Facebook. It inspires engagement with your community. I did a Facebook Live in a different group yesterday. Very inspirational woman talked for about an hour on all the abuse that she had endured and then how God put her back together and healed her. And there were people who were commenting throughout that entire video, oh my gosh, tears and this and broken hearts. And, it just engages your community right along with you. And another person said, fun, it's just fun to do, which it can be once you're done being camera shy type thing. It builds your authority. Someone who is really looking for what you have, if you're speaking to them, they know you've already gotten over the fear factor of doing a Facebook Live, and they are dialed in when you find that. And those are the people that you truly want to serve. Someone else, Joyce, you'll appreciate this, Marta, you will. Great way to practice speaking skills. What a great way to hone those skills and get your message across in either a minute or less, or you purposely do longer Facebook Lives. High engagement. There really is. I've done a couple of interviews lately over the last month in this, it's called God's 5 Tribe, and there's over 600 people watching these videos on the replays, which is phenomenal. I mean, that's a good, going from 100 to 600 views and that's what we had been doing, like about 100 views, and overnight it's gone to 600. So that's what it can do. The Facebook Lives do show your audience more of you and your personality. Again, they're buying you, not what your product that you sell. It's low tech. It really is. I mean, it's for me, I find it much easier to do on my phone than I do on my computer. But either way, whatever people are comfortable with, it is low tech. It is very, very easy to, and it's free. When do you get your message out there for free? People are buying marketing all over the place, but this is free. You are in control. Again, easy, feels personal, and it does. People feel like they're in your living room, or they feel like they're with you when you're doing a Facebook Live instead of just typing something and putting a picture with it. Streamlining the complicated. I mean, if there's times when you can provide education. I was talking to a woman whose husband is an attorney, and I was really masterminding her how she could do some educational videos to serve their community and differentiate them from the franchisors, because they're in personal injury law. And so when we can provide, like, there's a lot of stuff going on up here. I have a lot of knowledge. I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of stuff. But if I can do a Facebook Live and explain it in words that people can understand, that's just a huge benefit of doing a live as opposed to trying to write all this out. It gives people a sense of who you are. We've sort of already talked about that. And if they want to work with you, and that's a huge piece. Like, all in all, we want to be thinking ahead, like, why are we doing this Facebook Live? I was in this group, which again, I'm going to share with you here in just a minute, or in a few minutes, that she was doing Facebook Lives all week. She was doing it on challenges, like doing a challenge inside of your Facebook group. And this challenge, so her challenge was about challenges, like us learning how to do a challenge. So let's just say, another part of my life, this is the easiest thing for me to explain, is that I write daily devotions and prayers. So I have an online ministry, and I would love to grow my audience. So this challenge on challenge, what kind of a challenge I could do, a bridge that would bring people from here wanting to work with me over here. And so that's what we're, thinking about in terms of why are we doing, we want people to know who we are, so they want to work with us over here. So I could, for instance, develop a week-long, or probably in my case, a 3-week-long challenge where I'm saying, I really want to serve the busy person, the person who loves God, doesn't have a lot of time, just can't somehow find time to get into the Word. So I could do, in 5 minutes or less, I could give people an inspiration, because I already do it. I write the devotion. I upload that devotion every day into a podcast, and I could engage them and say, in 21 days, 5 minutes or less every day, I can feed your spirit. And then during this 3-week period, I would end up with a group who wanted to do my Bible study that I wrote, that I led, so we always want to be thinking ahead, like, why would people want to work with you? You have to have a reason why they'd want to work with you, and then build Facebook Lives and or videos to match that reason in terms of them working with you. So, and you can, I'm going to attempt to show you how you can, in fact, use these videos from Facebook Live, download them onto your device, and be able to use those on all the other social media outlets and things like that. So there's even there's something called StreamYard. I don't have this written down, I don't believe. So it's something to write down. StreamYard is a way to go. It's an app that you can use to go live. The cool thing about StreamYard is you can go live in several venues at the same time. So you can do a Facebook Live, an Instagram Live, and a YouTube Live all at the same time through StreamYard. You can also create banners. So as people are watching your live, different banners show up, or just one professional banner that says your name and your business. So StreamYard is a beautiful way to do a Facebook Live that just steps it up just a little bit. There's a free app, and there's also a paid app on StreamYard. Lastly, you can create an event and advertise the Facebook Live ahead of time so that people know you're going live. And I'm going to show you how to create a Facebook Live event right now, scheduling a Facebook Live. So hopefully I've given you some, if we're going to go into my Life After Lupus page, and we're going to schedule so disregard this stuff on the right-hand side over here, because I'm going to create an event. Well, actually, we can do it from right here where you would normally create a post. I can create an event. So I'm going to create. So this is what we're doing now. I'm creating a Facebook Live and hopefully an event, if you will. And I'm actually going to use this event for Sunday night, for my Sunday night story time. So going through the process, and you can go back and watch this video because Joyce is recording it. I go online. My event is going to be free. You can choose paid. And I'm going to name my event, which is going to be Sunday night story time. Let's spell it right. Again, we'll try and spell it right. And I'm going to set the date as next Sunday night. And my start time is going to be 7:30 p.m. I'm going to add an end time. And I will definitely not be talking till 10 o'clock. So we will talk till about 7:45 is usually how long mine go. And my location is going to just be online. One thing about Facebook pages is they're always public. So if there's things that you wouldn't want people to know, then you might look at a group instead of a page. So a description, and I can reading out of my book, Life After Lupus. Share my journey, sickness, and category being health. So it really prompts you, like I usually do this from my phone and not from here. And so I'm a little less comfortable doing it from here, but it's going to prompt you through every single thing. So I'm going to create a Facebook Live, and they're saying you're going to go live directly in your event. They'll remind me, which they do. And that's so cool. Like they really have my back. It's my own calendar out there. It's going to be a Facebook Live. I'm going to go next. I'm going to edit. I'm going to upload a photo. I have to move you guys around so I can see what I'm doing. And that's a really beautiful thing about Facebook is they have all this stuff in place, and you just answer and it will create a beautiful, really a beautiful thing for you. And, oh, I should be back over here. Now I'm going to create the event, and it will actually go on my Life After Lupus page. Then, and my internet's slow inside of this Zoom. So yep, there it did. It created it up. It created it for me. I've already got my picture that I wanted, it to see. And it will now notify everyone who's liked my page that I'm going live next Sunday night. And it's got this picture. I can share it to my personal profile so that people then are going to see it there as well. So it's just such a beautiful thing. Like I said, in terms of Facebook doing all of what, I don't have the wherewithal. Patrick could do this, but I can't. So it does it for me. So I love, love, love that. Going live, and I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go back home here and then go back into Life After Lupus. I don't know if you guys necessarily need this or not, because you probably know, but if I was going to go live, again, it's a little bit easier to go live or to go live on my phone than it is my computer. But you essentially create, just like I created that event, I would create a live video right here. And I click on that, and it's going to bring me to another page where I can just hit go live. go live now. And then it will literally go live, and I'll be speaking to my group. When I get done with going live, and we won't be doing that today, but let's see. I do want to show you how it will. There's something here. Let me show you at the end of your live video, and this is what I think some of you wanted to know, is at the end of your live video, you will get these pictures that will prompt you to be able to download that video to your device, whether it's on your phone or, so remember I showed you I did this Facebook Live this morning at the dog park. I just finished it and I took the picture of what shows up on my phone. I can download that to a video. So I used to only do, because then I could use that video and throw it on my page, on my profile, on Instagram, and upload it to YouTube. But then I realized that Facebook Live allows you to download that Facebook Live you just did into a video, so I can still throw it on all those other social media. So right here, I chose download, and I was going to show you, just walk you through that place. And you know what? You may be sitting there thinking, oh, Andrea, whatever. But I just wanted to show you that it is a step-by-step process, and it will do it beautifully for you. That you don't have to do anything. Your tech is already there. And then it gives you an opportunity to delete that video, that Facebook Live after 30 days. I always hit never delete because I never know what I'm going to want to use that for. Plus, I'm not necessarily wanting my page to delete content automatically. So I keep it and I click on that never delete button. So first it asks you if you want to download the video. I say yes. Then I keep it. And then the last thing that your device will ask you when you're doing a Facebook Live, or once you've ended it, is post now. So it's going to download my video to my device. I'm going to say don't delete it, and then it's going to post. And then I can use that video and I can upload it to YouTube and Instagram and so on and so forth. So let's see. The next thing I think I wanted to show you is the YouTube channel. So I created this YouTube channel, I don't know, year or so ago, something like that. And I'm still a little apprehensive. Like I do most of this again from my phone, but that video that I did today, I can upload that video, which I'll do right now. I downloaded it to my device, so now I can upload that video. All I do is select that file. And that's my Life After Lupus Live. And really, that's it. Like, YouTube's gonna, again, do the whole thing. I can give my description, keep going to next, and it will go ahead and upload it for me at some point here. So, so let's just, I will finish this just so it's going to work for me while I finish this training. Okay. Then I also wanted to show you how else can we increase our engagement in terms of keeping our viewers who are already there engaged and then bringing in new people as well. So let's say you've got a page. You want to provide your specific content that I was just sharing with you, all the kind of content I want to do. Then looking at the month, you can schedule out so you don't have to think about it every day. A lot of times it's just, oh, I have to think about one more thing. This only took me about 10 minutes to create. This is March. And these are just posts that I can make without me having to think about it on that day every single day. So you can schedule out these posts, or you can just do them, look at your calendar and do them. And I'm assuming that most people here know how to schedule a Facebook post. So on the first, I will post a dog picture. Well, that's easy. I've got my dog. On the second day, I might post a health tip. My next day, I will post best blessing day, like what's the biggest blessing that happened to me on this day or yesterday, kind of thing, something that's really relevant. Thursday is National Pound Cake Day. So what I did is I went to the national, everybody's like National Sons Day, National this day, National that day. So I went to a website that gave me all the national days, and you can see on Thursday, it's sort of a theme. This is National Oatmeal Nut Waffle Day, and then National Lacy Oatmeal Cookie Day. So just finding things, finally Friday GIF. There's a question that I was asking here. If you could rename yourself, what's your favorite name that like if you don't like your own name type thing. So it's just ways to engage people in your audience every single day of the month, something different than the kind of content that you're putting out. So if it's just your content time and time and time again, people, that may or may not be a good thing, but this I know is a good thing, and that's to post other things along with your content. All right, the last thing that I wanted to share with you is the group that I'm in, and I want you to feel free to this gal is an expert in creating online community, Tanyakubo, and she's on the PDF file that's here as well. She's a public figure, and that's her largest page. And then she's got Tanyakubo's The Secret to Thriving Online. So Tanya, she like I said, she's an expert, and she is hired out by some really big names to run, like a gal that I'm interning with. She's a best-selling author, has over 30,000 people on her author page. And Tanya this gal that I intern with hires Tanya. So Tanyakubo's Secret to Thriving Online Communities. She is where I get a ton of information about how to build. And this is a group. You can see here, it's a group. She's got 566 members. And her thing is, I don't care how many members I have in this group. I want everyone in this group to feel engaged, and they do. So she does lives once a week, and she'd say that's sufficient. I just happen to do short lives a lot, and or groups or videos a lot. But she commits Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time that she will serve her community. So we can go and ask all kinds of questions, and she is phenomenal about answering those questions. So her whole thing is building online community. So I highly recommend Tanya's group, and she calls all of her things the same. I probably should have done the same, but I didn't know. So now I have to go through a transition and be using my name instead of, like, I have Life After Lupus, which I named after my book, and Mrs. Clean, in terms of some of the things that I do with Melaleuca. So I hope that there's something in here that you can take away, and I'll stop my share here. And if there's any questions, I don't know how long I went.
You have, excuse me for interrupting, Andrea, but you have another probably 10 minutes at least for questions, 10 or 15 if we have that many. I see Joe Taylor did put a question in the chat about, is daily not too much? It's like frequency on Facebook, Instagram, etc. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, and this is my personal experience. I bet Patrick can probably speak to it better, but I can say that for me, I was extremely consistent every single day posting those little dog videos at the dog park. And then I kind of got busy and I went to 3 days a week. I was getting twice the engagement when I went every single day. So for me and my community, it was like an everyday post. If that doesn't mean it has to be a video every day, but I believe, and that's why I provided that. And you can download that social media account, or no, Joyce, you're going to provide that PDF.
I will send that out.
Yeah. So like, it's important to post every day. It doesn't necessarily have to be a video or a it should not be a Facebook Live every day. Well, from what I can tell, even once a week or twice, 3 times a week. But I would say like a big Facebook Live once a week at the most. And beyond that, though, you do want content there. So it has to be something. It doesn't have to be about your business. In fact, I think it's discouraged to be your business every single time. And I'm just learning these things. So hopefully I can pass that on to you, that I think it's like every third or fourth post should be your business. And that's on a social media calendar to fill in the blanks for the rest of the days. Yeah, you should post every day, not about your business every day.
So Joe, did you want to follow up at all with that, or would that answer your question? You're good? Okay. Other people just unmute and ask. I see Marta's got a question.
Yes. Could you please explain a little bit about the basics of creating a YouTube channel? Does it cost? How many people can you have on there before paying? All those things.
Doesn't cost. It doesn't cost a dime. It's literally just and I could, well, I was going to say I could just create one, because I was going to create one anyway, another channel, but you can have multiple channels. Does not cost you to create a channel. I think, yeah, so that's the answer. You can create a channel, and I would, because even if you don't know exactly what you're doing and you start putting stuff out there, you can hone that in as you go, but creating as soon as possible, because then you're creating like a backtrack, you're creating content that's going to follow you. And as soon as you can, I would set up a YouTube channel, but yeah, it doesn't cost anything.
Okay. Thank you.
And like Patrick has one, I have one, maybe other people here have a YouTube channel. Look at that. See quite a few hands. So I'm sure there'd be plenty of people that could, just like brainstorm with you, do a little Zoom session.
Yeah. Honestly, Google is your best friend starting out on some of this stuff. YouTube. Yeah. A YouTube channel. It
depends how you learn and how old you are.
True.
Andrea.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Say that. Some people like someone to hold their hand a little bit virtually. Other people can figure it out. It just depends on them.
Yep, absolutely. No, totally get that. And you don't have to have a video the day you set one up. You can set one up and then a month later have the video or whatever that you upload to it. So you don't have to be prepared. I tell you what, I have started things I've been completely unprepared for, but then it's amazing what happens when you just start. That comes to you as you go. The ideas come as you go, but to be stopped. And I know you're just getting started in this other business, the coaching, Marta. So I totally get that. Like, having to work through some ideas about what you want to put out there is great. I can tell you don't think too long on it. Just start doing it. And that's when it's like somehow the universe comes in and starts working through you. It's crazy.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions that people have or comments? By the way, that was just phenomenal. We'll give you a round of applause here in a minute, but that was so thorough. I'm really, really glad I started to record these presentations. Last month with Lori's and this one. Any other questions or thoughts here?
Or would anybody even like to, I was thinking if I had enough time, I could help mastermind just someone's business, like say, this is what I have. Like, how could we think, if you're wondering what kind of content to throw out there, maybe we could work on your specific, what you have to give you some ideas.
Sure, people want some help. I do want to take a photo here for a second if we want to get your smiling faces just for the record, kind of. Here we go. Yay. All right. Perfect. Okay. So now we should have that. And okay, so just go right ahead. I'll play you. Hang on a minute. I got it. Okay, you get back to our regularly scheduled program. Okay. But yeah, if there's people, I gotta save it. Yes. Okay, just keep chatting.
Okay, Marta, did you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to know if you wanted to brainstorm for my life coaching advertising and what to do first, because there's so much to do and I already have a project plan, but I don't even know where to start.
Okay, so I have another friend who has started a coaching business, and I love what she offered. She just put it out on her Facebook profile. So her coaching was more specific. It was the Enneagram. I don't know if you've heard of the Enneagram coaching.
I do that.
Okay. So what she did at first is she said, who would like to be I would like some guinea pigs basically. And I would love to take 5 people and walk you through this thing. So I learn, you'll learn along with it. You'll get my coaching. But she was kind of came from a place of, and that's the giving heart. Like, even if you know what you will be coaching and you know how to do it, just offering lets other people know in a super giving way that now you're a life coach and you want to, so you don't have to do 5, but maybe you choose 3 or 2 people, and you could do a Facebook post on your regular profile saying, I would love to offer some coaching. And she had 5 sessions, I think, that she gave for free, and she learned a lot. And those of us that took advantage of that, we learned about Enneagram and who we were and all of that. So that's one thing. And then I would start, in your case, I would start a page, not a group, because you're going to be the one providing content. And it's super simple to start. Have you ever started a page?
Oh yeah, I have my own personal page, and I've done many pages for other folks for business pages. Yeah.
Okay. So, you pick out a picture and you just make the page. And then you could start posting to that page some content that you want to put out there. Have you thought about what kind of content you want to put out there? Like, who do you want to be coaching? Is it like everybody, or just more specific?
I'm still trying to narrow down my niche. And
Okay.
I have a huge list, and I want to narrow that down. So I haven't really come to that conclusion yet, but that's the work I'm doing this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one thing I can tell you about me narrowing down my niche is what could I talk about all day long and never get tired about it? What, right? Like, what do I could talk to someone about their laundry detergent and I would fall asleep, but but I could talk about autoimmune and different ways to heal all day long. So in terms of who do you want to be when you're out there? Like, what would give you life? Because if you're talking about laundry detergent all day, you're going to quit, right? So think about what lights you up. Like, what do you love to talk about? And then who needs to hear that message? Like, who is really into that? Do you want to work primarily with women, with men? Does it matter? Age groups, like are the older, sometimes we have a little bit more sense than the younger, like people who are willing, they want to learn, they're hungry, they want to soak up like I love Joyce, that you get a second chance, I feel like I'm in the same boat. I raised 3 kids and was super, super busy mom. So I didn't have time to do all of these things. And now it's like a fire hose because my kids just left and I've got all this stuff to share. So like, who's that person that you really want to serve? Who do you want to spend your day with? Because in life coaching, your message is going to land with lots of different people. So I think first it's who do you want to spend your day with, because you're going to fill your day with those kinds of people. And then, and so I would start with that, like what's going to really light you up and who do you want to spend your day with?
That totally makes sense. Thank you very much.
That's a really great case study to use. Like sometimes people say, well, let me send you to like the assisted living or, the independent. I know I don't want to hang around with old people. Even though I'm old, right? No, well, unless they're kind of like me and they have a business and they're vibrant and they're excited and they're out in the business world, that's fine. I don't care if they're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. So that's where I have to, the boomer's name can be deceiving in the name of it. It works for me and kind of works against me. So that's where I have to clarify, going back to a niche and who do I want to hang out with?
Yeah.
That's really, really important.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I am still recording, by the way. I hope that's okay, because this is all, I think, so rich too, and so super helpful. Anything else, comments, questions, maybe one more little scenario if you have one? What a great gift Andrea is to do this for us. Yay. So I think maybe we're pausing. I'm gonna make sure to have Abigail do her introduction, but we'll hold off on that till after recording here. So I'm going to just say, well, oh my gosh, Andrea, awesome, way awesome. Bunch of jazz hands and unmuting everybody, tell her, woo, go Andrea. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording, but we're still chatting here amongst ourselves.